In the Brewing Student Cultures podcast, we will cover topics of student life
from both international and Dutch perspective. A podcast by International Students Work.
Hello everyone, this is the International Students Work podcast, Brewing Student Cultures. I'm Melissa.
And I'm Isabella, and today we're here to talk about a very fun topic. Actually, I'm very curious.
Me too. And we all have experience.
Right? Oh yeah, right? Yeah. Because today we have a Dutch and international guest with us, and they're gonna talk about living in an international environment.
Yeah, and living together in an international environment. Welcome, Cecilia and Justin.
Hello, thank you.
Thank you for being here.
Yeah.
Thank you for inviting us.
Yeah, would you like to tell us a little more about yourselves?
Go ahead.
All right, yes. So, my name is Justin. I'm 25 years old. I studied French here in Nijmegen, and after that I did a master in journalism. And right now I'm working for a TV station.
Do we have a famous?
Oh my god!
I'm on the way to becoming famous. No, let's hope so. But I've only just started.
We're trying.
And I used to live with Cecilia for a few years. I think.
Months.
Oh
my god!
Was it so intensive?
A few months. So that's why we're here.
Yeah, and I'm Cecilia, and I'm also 25 years old, and I'm studying business administration at Radboud.
Nice.
Okay.
Yeah. How did you meet? How did you...
Well, let me start. So I arrived at a weird house. No, it was not weird, just a random house in a town near Nijmegen. And then I think I met you the first day that I was there. I was there for the orientation week.
Yes, I was already living there. Obviously.
Yeah.
So, yeah. It was the house of the parents of one of my friends. They owned it, and I lived there. And then you came, yes. That's how we met, actually.
Yeah, and we were living with... We were 4, I believe.
In total, yes.
Right, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so for those who don't have any experience, here in the Netherlands, it's most always the case that you share a place with someone.
At some point in your academic life, you share a flat.
For sure, that's an experience, university equal sharing a place. So it's very common to have places like student accommodation or houses from landlords. And yeah, you just go there and everyone has a room or even share a room. And that's why we just end up with a very international environment. And living with students. Yes.
Yeah. Oh my god, 4 people? It's not that bad actually, right?
Oh no.
No, it wasn't.
Really? It could be worse.
It could be worse, but the house was also not too big, so they wouldn't have been able to fit more people in. So, but 4 people was quite alright.
Yeah.
One of them was never there anyway, so...
There's always the one that's never there.
Yeah, right? There's always the empty room, and you wonder, are they there, are they not? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I get that. Well, what was the most difficult thing, different thing about living with other people, living together, I guess, for you in particular?
I suppose that, as a Dutch person, moving in with other Dutch people in a house like that, you already have to get used to each other. You have to get used to kind of strangers, sharing your place with strangers. And I think because there were more nationalities in our house too. The other people were also international people. It kind of makes it even a bit more difficult, as in it's a little bit of a different cultural thing, I suppose. And I think that's at the beginning. That's the hardest part. I think getting
those
used
culture
to
shocks.
each other. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I had the same experience that suddenly I had to get used to everybody else's experience somehow and adjust my routines to their routines so that it would fit, for example, the schedule for cleaning or, I don't know, just if you were going to bring someone home, if they wanted to know if someone was going to be there or not. Because I've lived in so 3 different houses in my academic career.
Okay.
Here in the Netherlands, you mean?
Here in the Netherlands, yeah. And if we count the years before, it's much more. But yeah, so it's interesting to see how different nationalities behave and just learn from them different ways of, I don't know, doing the dishes, for example.
Mm-hmm.
For me, it was an adjustment, and I tried to not criticize a way just because I thought my way was the right way to do things. But
I think like we have some small stuff that for us is completely normal. It's that's the way that should be, right? But then it's like completely different.
Yeah.
Just because it's another culture or people come from other places. So, for example, I live with 14 nationalities right now.
Oh, wow.
No Dutch. So,
no Dutch.
Yeah, but 14. And when I saw like one of my flatmates eating, it was like a bowl made of potatoes with jam, like strawberry jam, at
Potatoes
11
and jam?
in the morning.
Nice.
Yeah, I was like,
confused.
No words. I was so
Wait,
confused.
11 in the morning?
11 in the
Okay.
morning.
I was gonna guess the nationality, but I have no idea who
No,
would
this
eat
is
that.
same.
I think he's Swedish, I would say.
Well, I was gonna say something like that because in IKEA, they eat like meatball with jam and stuff like that.
Yeah,
They
I
eat
think that's
meatballs
it.
with jam.
I suppose.
Oh my
yes. No, yeah. Did you think I was eating weird foods? Did you?
No,
remember?
just boring food.
Well,
I'm
that's
not going
true.
to pretend.
It's okay. It's okay.
No, it's an interesting thing because there are some Dutch people who cook the boring food that is just stamppot and variations of that, and then there are other Dutch people who also take the from Indonesia.
Yes,
They take those that type of food and they also introduce it in their kitchen, and then it's a very different experience. I'm like, why do you cook that if it's like it's not that okay? Well, yeah, somehow it is.
What I always found really funny if we're talking about food was dinner time. Dinner time here in the Netherlands is 6 o'clock and strictly 6 o'clock, and I've always been used to that. And then I remember actually getting ready for bed, let's say 10:30, 11, I come downstairs to grab 1 glass of water, and she's preparing a whole meal for herself still in the kitchen. And I know it was that's like a normal thing in Spain to eat that late.
Oh yes.
But it's absolutely not for Dutch people. And I remember the first time I was quite shocked, actually. How can you even think of cooking at this time anymore?
Yeah.
It is healthy, I would say, to eat a little earlier at night, right?
Well, it just depends what diet you want to follow.
Yeah, but I do agree. I like
Mediterranean.
eating later as well. I
Yeah.
guess it's not late, but definitely like after 6. I think 6 to me would still be what we call like in Brazil like a snack time.
Yeah.
I would say.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like in between lunch
Yes,
and dinner.
exactly.
We would have the 18 o'clock food. So I see the contrast.
Yeah.
Like it was any time that you managed to eat together, like, and share some food.
I think only if I made the step to eat earlier.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't think you ever committed to stay hungry for a bit longer.
Until 10?
You really need to understand that for a Dutch person, it's very difficult to wait with dinner until like 10. That's impossible. Our stomachs just physically cannot handle that. No.
Yeah.
I suppose we had dinner a few times together.
Probably. I was really keen into learning more about the culture, and I asked you a lot of like the small. I still remember the small cookies that they give to families that have newborns.
Yes.
That like depending if it's a boy or a girl, it's blue
the colors
or
as well.
pink. Yeah, so I asked him a lot about it and in general about the culture, because I was like, I want to get to know it more and see what it is like. So yeah.
Nice.
It was my first introduction to the country. Yeah.
I was your guide for the Netherlands. Yes. Did I give a good impression? You're still here, so
I'm still here.
I think so,
Got
right?
answers.
No, I got a good impression. Just some foods were definitely not what I would.
We're not very known for our haute cuisine, I suppose.
Yeah.
So I'll take that one.
Yeah, but I think not only like food, but for example, shower time or.
Oh yeah.
Because
No,
in
it's
Brazil
very-
it's too hot, so we shower like in the morning and then before going to the bed, so twice a day.
Mhm.
That's normal, you know.
Mhm.
But today I live with people that like they shower, I don't know, every 2 days
Oh,
or
okay.
every 3
Yeah,
days.
I think it's very cultural, and I guess like I don't know.
Oh no, I talked to enough people to know that this is a thing.
I see.
Yes, believe me. I had statements of like, yeah, I shower 1 or twice per week max. And other people who are like, I'm not gonna shower with soap, use water and just rinse it off, rinse the dirt off.
I see. No, I'll just take 1 shower a day and I'm alright, and I
Yeah.
expect everyone else to do that too.
Yeah. No, I think for us it's normal because it's so hot in the summer that we might take like 2 showers a day, but only really when you're really, really hot.
Mhm.
And then in the wintertime, just 1 time per day. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, but again, like small things that we don't
Yeah.
even realize that it's completely different just
No.
because of other count.
Yeah, you talked about the dishes. Like, how is it for responsibilities, right? Because we have a lot of things that, like, cleaning schedule. My house has a pretty like solid cleaning schedule. I'm really happy about that.
you are very lucky.
Yes,
Yeah,
I think
that's
so. Right?
you.
Yeah, but it also cleaning schedule, also like shower times as well. Like if it overlaps, people have like similar routines. We never had a fight about that, but we always are really respectful. Like, how does it work? How did it work for you all?
So with the shower time, we didn't have an issue.
No,
I think.
it was also always alright.
Yeah.
Our cleaning schedule could have had some improvements. It wasn't the best cleaning schedule. I always
Yeah.
forgot to clean the bathroom
Yeah.
too. That's
I
completely
thought I
on me.
was gonna have to say it, but you said it.
Because I knew you were gonna address it. So here am I first saying it.
It sounds better.
I was young back then. I didn't know. That was not good. No, the thing is, I suppose that in our house also not everyone was home all the time. And even though we had made agreements about cleaning,
Yeah.
you were the one always doing all your cleaning.
Yeah.
You are definitely the
Thank
cleanest
you.
person in the house. But also a few of the other people didn't really commit to the schedule. And for me personally, that made me also a bit like, oh, so why should I do it to them?
Yeah.
But in the end, sometimes the house was quite nasty.
It was a bit disgusting. Like,
disgusting.
thank God it wasn't an old house. It was quite new.
Yeah, that was good.
And then you could see the dirt, but not
Mm-hmm.
as much as you see in an old house that you can clean it, but you will still see something.
Yeah.
No, I remember it was really funny because I think it was the first week of September, so it was the second or third week that I was in the Netherlands that you gathered us together, or we gathered each other, and we were sitting in the living room talking about the schedule. Okay, who's gonna clean this, and what are the rules? Do we want to know, like, if someone's coming or not? And we made that pretty clear. It was not all of us, was it?
No, I don't think so.
Only the 3 of us.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's also hard to keep up, right? Like sometimes you're on exams and you have a bunch of things you do, and then you have set up time for that. So I do get it.
I suppose to me, is really also the fact that these people are not your relatives, for example, or not even maybe we've become friends, but the other people maybe we're not necessarily friends with them either. So they in a way feel kind of like strangers, and then it's maybe hard to sometimes commit to the household, for example, because you're living with strangers.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
That really
Yes,
felt
yeah.
like that for me sometimes.
But yeah, I think I understand the exams phase, or that you're really busy, but at some point you know that you're living with other people. You should also respect that they have also those phases, and
Definitely.
you're supposed to keep your house clean. I think everybody's happier if the house is
Of
clean.
course, yeah.
So
Yeah.
a little bit of commitment is always nice to see.
Yeah, but as like you said, we're strangers.
Yeah.
But of course we can like just become friends like you guys did. So I think it's a very particular experience that everyone's gonna have. It can be good, it can be bad at the end, whatever. But it's nice sharing a cultural routine.
For sure.
Like
Yes,
I think you
I think
learn
so
a
too.
lot during now that's your life, you know. So you're continue doing your stuff, but people are also doing their stuff, and at some point you're doing stuff together and learning. So I think it's a nice experience. Of course, we have some problems of Dutch don't want to live with internationals. Internationals don't want to live with Dutch because of the language. I would say so. But yeah, I think it's a nice experience. We can have lots of good things about
I also
it.
think it brings people together in a way that, for example, my flatmate, they told me because I was saying how I wanted more friends and stuff like that, and I said, don't get me wrong, I love you all, and then my flatmate was like, no, we came with the house. And I was like, yeah, you did come with the house, because I don't think we would have been friends if we didn't live together, you know.
yeah.
It's kind of like that. But also, I don't not only because I wouldn't choose to, I would choose probably to be friends with them, but then again, would I meet them if I didn't live with them?
It's the circumstance that
Exactly.
made you have that experience together. Maybe we don't know if you would have met otherwise. It's the same with school.
Yeah.
You meet people there, but you never really know if you would have become friends if it wasn't for school. So
Yeah, you're also living with people doing completely different courses, or people that are
Yes.
working, people that are studying. So it's a lot of things going on, and at the end we're bounding because we live in the same place.
Yes, yeah.
So yeah, but okay, now I'm curious because I don't live with Dutch, and then I mentioned the things about Dutch that they don't want to live with internationals and vice versa. How do you feel about that? And then after, I also want to hear your opinion, Cecilia. So why do you think we still have this problem with avoiding international environments?
Yeah, sometimes you really see those adverts saying no internationals, caps lock on top of it. It makes me I'm just surprised, honestly. The Netherlands is well known for speaking very well English, for example, so that should absolutely not be a problem, if language is your issue. And genuinely, I also do not understand why people on forehand already want to exclude international students from living together with you. To me personally, it was a great experience. I learned new things. It was just really fun also to live with different cultures. And to be fair, I actually couldn't give you a reason why this is still existing, because I genuinely don't understand.
Yeah.
I think everyone should be open for it, because of the reason I just said, because it's a great experience. So yeah.
Okay, all right. That's nice to hear, right?
It is really nice.
it's a nice compliment.
I think maybe maybe they had bad experiences with internationals, and immediately every international is a bad person.
Yeah. We already talked about this in another episode, but also the landlords, they have a kind of an influence, they don't want to rent for
sometimes not even the
internationals.
people that live in the
Yeah,
house.
it's not about always the people, but
Maybe the Dutch people don't want to get out of that comfort zone of speaking their language. Maybe, I'm not sure. And then the same for the other way of for internationals that don't want to live with Dutch people. Maybe they just want to stay within what they're comfortable with. I don't know.
At the other hand, I suppose maybe you already, for example, as an international, stepped way out of your comfort zone, I suppose, by moving to another country. And then maybe if you can find other international students who did the same thing, you can bond a bit and stuff.
True.
And living together is a whole next step, I think, also. So maybe from the side of internationals, I could maybe still understand it a little bit. But then at the other hand, you also chose the Netherlands because I don't know for what reason. Maybe you thought it was very interesting, and I would say I would really want to get to know the country. And I mean, living together with Dutch people would be the perfect way to get to know the country.
Okay, so now that I saw that you are encouraging, living in an international environment,
For sure.
Tell me your best story, living with another culture. You learned something, you had, I don't know, in like language internal jokes? Like, yeah, just tell me something that you really liked during that period.
I think it was just the funniest thing that when your birthday party, I think that was really nice. You invited your Spanish family also over, and we had such a great time. We did karaoke. I don't know. I never did karaoke in a home party for a birthday really before, but we did it with your parents. They got really involved too, and that was such a lovely evening. I still remember that very well.
We should mention Lady Gaga as the...
Do you want to go there? Okay, yes. Yes. Obviously, I was singing a Lady Gaga song with your Spanish mom, who doesn't necessarily speak very well English. But we went for it, and we had the greatest experience. So yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Just
great.
imagine them dancing in front of the TV with a bunch of us internationals just looking at them. And my mom was trying her best, and Justin
That's
was
so
also
cute.
having a lot of fun. And I think we had the microphones that we used were obviously not microphones. I don't have microphones at home. It was
A cucumber.
a cucumber.
Oh my god, no!
As microphones. So.
Yes.
This is so much better. Oh, Lady
I
Gaga.
organized the best party.
I see
I
that.
can see that, right? And like that's something that you're probably not experienced if you're not living with international,
No,
right?
no, for sure.
So
Me.
there we go.
Singing Lady Gaga and like with a
with,
cucumber.
with a Spanish
Someone
mom who
with a-
doesn't really know the words. Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah.
I really like it. And you, do you have a good experience you can tell?
Well, that experience was great, but I think what I appreciated the most was being invited to, for example, your birthday party. Like, your boyfriend at the time organized it, but for me it was nice to feel so included. Like, everybody was Dutch, or almost everybody was Dutch, and I was just with our other housemate, the only internationals, and I felt so welcome. Everybody was talking to me, and I was having a different experience, because from what I have experienced at university, for example, is that very special group of internationals, and then the rest is just Dutch, and they are a little bit two separate groups. So it was nice to be around.
We Dutch people can be nice to international students.
They are lovely.
Of
They're lovely.
course.
Yes.
What I always say, I think I already said that in one of our episodes, it's like Dutch, they are really good friends.
Yes.
They actually do. But going there and like creating a relationship and being friends, it takes a while. So it always takes a while for you to bond and have this connection. But as soon as you have this, they are great friends.
Yeah.
And again, you had the opportunity because you were living together, and probably you would never be invited to a Dutch friend, like a Dutch party. But since you were friends and living together and having a great connection, you had this experience.
Yeah, that is nice.
I mean, it increases when you have a Dutch international relationship. Like, for example, my boyfriend is Dutch, so it's even more intense experience to be included in every other party and just be there and know more about the culture, about how do they plan parties, because I don't know if you've ever been in a Dutch party, but on their parties they just take a sack of potatoes.
The potatoes come back, yeah.
And they put it on their feet and they jump from one side to the other. You've never experienced this? Is this only my boyfriend's experience? Well, yes, a sack, and they jump from one line to the other to see who's faster.
We did it at primary school in a sports day.
And
It's
they
never
had-
at a birthday
Oh,
party.
I'm just remembering that they had so many games, and another game was they had a bucket of water,
Okay.
and there were apples inside. Yeah. Okay, this is Dutch. Okay, great. And they had to pick them up with their mouth.
Yeah, without touching it,
Without
like-
touching them. It was surreal. Like, I didn't know if I was in the circus or if it was an actual
But
party.
did you enjoy it?
I enjoyed watching it.
I think it counts.
Wait, did you jump over the potatoes?
Yes.
Okay.
I fell down.
Oh no! I see why you watched the
Okay.
rest of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Well, potatoes. That seems very Dutch.
Yeah.
I should
But
do
it's
that.
it's just these little things that you only learn when you're actually involved with someone that just as a friend, boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever. So in the end, it makes me want to stay here. Like now I want to stay here because I see that there is much more than you can see with your eyes. Because if you meet, you talk, and you see, okay, when we are born, we get these weird cookies.
Tradition, yeah.
And other times, I don't know, they organize I don't know if you've noticed that in the houses when they graduate, they put their bag on top of their houses, and they celebrate. They have every celebration. They have something to do with it. They decorate the house like crazy. It's very funny.
That's really nice.
But I also think it's nice that like you make an effort, right? You're
Yeah.
open-minded and you make an effort to learn about the culture and like not only the culture but like about each other, right?
Yes.
Like if you're living somewhere with other people, everybody has to give in a little, right? To
Yes.
to go through like those.
Yeah, I think it's both ways. Like you as an international need to be open to have these discussions and to learn more and to put the initiative in, and Dutch people need to be open to talk to you and learn more about your culture and explain you, okay, this is the country that you're living in, these are the traditions.
And I would definitely say learn like a few basic Dutch words and like that you can make a little bit of basic Dutch conversation because you will impress Dutch people with that. And they'll be like, oh,
Yes.
you speak some Dutch, wow. And then we'll switch back to English because yes, but you can really impress Dutch people with that, and I think you're creating some goodwill with that. But I agree with you. It's a two-way thing. Dutch people should definitely also be open for internationals in their life, in their during their study, during living together, for example. I think that's only good. Yeah.
That's great. Okay, that's really nice. Yeah.
And do you have any tips about like what would make a better like living arrangement? Like what would help with living together with other people, not necessarily just like in this multicultural environment, but something like what do you think people should know about, or what do you think people should work on when sharing like a house? Any tips?
I think it's a little bit of a cliche, but that good communication that you always hear, but really make time for it. Indeed, maybe organize a little gathering when you have new people in the house or so, where you first discuss some serious things and then afterwards you have like a bit of relaxing time, little party, something like that, I suppose. And for Dutch people, I would say really you're kind of a little bit the host of the country for these new people. So try and act like they are your guests too. Try and help them if they have questions and stuff.
That's
so
such a nice
I think but those are like small things to do in the end. That doesn't have to take much effort. So and I think it can really make a difference because coming in a new country, coming in, like hearing a different language all day around you, that is also quite overwhelming. That is really out of your comfort zone. In the end. So in the end, it's always good that someone is at least a bit helpful and just a bit nice to you. Yeah.
Yeah, I would only add that you really explain what your expectations are, not only about cleaning, for example, but also in life. Like, okay, when you come to the house and you're, let's say, angry, do you want me to approach you or do you want me to leave you alone? Like, those little things matter a lot.
That's true.
And if you don't know what to expect from the other person, because, yes, of course, culture matters, but also depending on the person you're talking to, you don't know if they are a more introvert person, extrovert, they want to handle things alone, or they want to talk about it. So it's good to set up these expectations very clear so that there is no confusion in the
Oh
end.
my god, I'm taking notes. This is a great tip.
No, I had a situation with this. That's why I learned so much from it. So at the beginning, like I moved in with my friend, and everything was going fine, but you got a bit of resentment because someone was not doing the things in the right way, or the right way that you thought was the right way. Or I don't know, they were angry and you would talk to them and they were like, oh, just leave me alone, or the other way around. And then it got to a situation that I didn't want to experience, because obviously they're your friends, you moved in with them, so you're like, I want to have a good time. So I decided to have a talk with this person and really write down, okay, this is what I expect you to do. What do you expect me to be like? And then when I know what you expect, it's gonna be so easy, because I don't have to ask myself, okay, what would this person like? It's more like, okay, I can go through the list and see, okay, she doesn't want to be bothered, then I will go in my room.
That's so nice.
And it makes sense. Like, people won't know what's going through your mind unless you say so. And like you said, like, communication is key, and that cannot be said enough, right?
Yes.
And also this, depending on the type of household you had a completely different experience. Maybe with your parents it was more like you sat with them and you talked about how your day was, and maybe for other people they would just go in the room, play video games, read a book or something, and continue with their lives. You don't know what that person expects from you, and maybe when you're the type of person that wants to get in the room as soon as they get home, it gets bothering if the other person is constantly coming asking you, how was your day?
And at the end of the day, like, we're living there now, so it's your home, so you should also be able to feel comfortable and like not always being afraid, like, oh, am I disturbing, am I doing this, am I doing that, am I allowed to bring people, like have people over? So yes, like both sides, let them know what you expect, also ask what they expect from you. So I think great tip.
Oh my god.
Never
thought about that. Great.
Okay, I think that's it then.
Great.
So for our listeners, today we learned a little bit about what it's like living with a Dutch person and with an international, and we got tips about like how to make the environment more like harmonic. What's it called? And how to be a good flatmate in terms of communication, cleaning schedule, and how to be like a good friend in general. I think we all have to give in a little, and we all can like get some things from the experience. So that's it.
Thank you all for watching and listening. Thank you guys again for being here and sharing
Thank you.
all the experience. It's really nice seeing that we still have some hope, like on the international environment.
There's always hope.
So thank you so much. Stay tuned for more episodes of the Brewing Student Culture podcast, and see you guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye bye.